Hey guys, so today is a video about the Ultimate Reef Tank for beginners. We're going to cover three types of aquariums in this video. The first aquarium is going to be a budget-friendly tank, the second aquarium is going to be a mildly budget-friendly tank, and the third aquarium is going to be the all-out can you afford it. Now this is my friend John here. He just got a brand new reef tank, a NUVO Fusion tin just like I got. He was picking out some corals in that shot, and basically his tank's fully cycled. He got his first fish, his first couple of cheap coral frags to see how he does with them. And he's having a ton of fun. So I really want to make this video so more people can experience what he's experiencing. And I also got a comment on my YouTube channel today from a user that wanted to get a NUVO Fusion 10. And he was really looking into it, and he's really saved up quite a bit of money, and he's really kind of researching exactly what he wants. And he seems like he's on a pretty good track. So I'm just kind of making this video to kind of give him an idea of what he could do versus like what's good for your money, what's not. So now we're going to dive into it, guys. So first off, guys, I want to talk about the ultimate reef tank situation. Now the user here was looking into getting into some Radion lighting, which is amazing lights. If you guys can afford them, they are top of the line, the premium, the best of the best, amazing lights. He was looking into getting a nano tank. So, you know, he looked and saw my NUVO Fusion, he really liked it, and I would highly recommend a NUVO Fusion or any form of NUVO, whether it's 10, 20, 25 gallons, any of those are great, great, great nano tanks. The NUVO tanks have amazing build quality. They're made out of low iron glass. They're highly scratch resistant. I've never been able to scratch one with a razor blade. The silicone job is premium. I absolutely love it. It comes with the built-in all-in-one in the back. It's got great attachments that you can stick in there, like the skimmer, the reactor, their little media baskets. It's got plenty of room for heaters, upgraded pumps, all sorts of stuff. Now, my opinion on reactors and skimmers is if you stay good on your water changes and do weekly water changes, or even monthly water changes in some cases, you really don't need those pieces of equipment. But if you can afford them and they're in your budget, then yeah, sure, it doesn't hurt to invest in one. Now what I would recommend for the ultimate reef tank is if you can afford it, a skimmer. In my opinion, a skimmer is way more worth it than a media reactor any day, any time. That's just my personal experience with it. Now you guys can have your own opinion and go with whatever you want for your reef tank, but my opinion, I would personally go with a skimmer. I think it does a lot more work. Now on top of that, for the ultimate reef tank, the Radion light is definitely the premium of the premium. I mean, that is the cream of the crop, the best light you're going to get. If you don't go with a Radion, you're crazy. So definitely get a Radion for an ultimate reef tank if you really want to have the best of the best. Now for filtration, I can say without a doubt that SKIMMERS Matrix is my go-to biological media filtration, and that ChemiPure Blue is the go-to mechanical, carbon filtration. It's good for everything. I absolutely love it. And if I could, I would recommend ChemiPure Blue, a sponge, and SKIMMERS Matrix all in your filter chamber, and that will do you some great, great time. That'll just get your reef tank really up there and going. Another thing I could recommend is getting live sand, live rock. If you guys can afford it, that stuff is awesome. Live rock does come with some crazy critters, so just be careful with that. But getting a product like Microbacter 7 can also really help accelerate your reef tank. Microbacter 7 is manufactured by Brightwell, and John, as you see here, actually used Microbacter 7 in his reef tank, and he cycled it pretty darn fast, and he's having great success with it so far. I've used it in my tanks as well, and it's really helped me a lot, guys. So definitely check that out. And in this video, you see some of these awesome corals, and with an ultimate reef tank, you can easily keep some of these corals. Now, for a sand bed in an ultimate reef tank, I'd go with Aragonite. Aragonite is my favorite sand bed. If you can find it live, that's even better. But if you can't, if you find dry Aragonite, it's pretty good too. I use dry Aragonite in all my reef tanks just because I don't have the money to go for something that expensive. Now also, if you have the ultimate reef tank and you want to make it look awesome, I would recommend just basically gluing all your rocks together with cement and cementing them all together. That way they look really good. It's just your dream tank, and it's never going to change. Now you may want to move your rocks around a lot, which is totally fine. But in my opinion, I actually built my 25-gallon as my personal ultimate reef tank, but I still haven't been able to afford a skimmer or anything like that, and I cemented my rocks together and I absolutely love it. I don't have to worry about anything falling on any corals or tipping over or anything, and it's great. Now basically for the ultimate reef tank, as far as equipment goes, it's really all you need is a really good filtration system, a really good light, definitely a good heater. I would recommend probably the Cobalt Aquatics heaters if you can. Aqueon heaters are pretty good if you're on kind of a budget, but this is the ultimate reef tank. I mean, come on, we don't have time for Aqueon heaters here. Now, another thing that I would recommend is a really good RO system. I cannot stress enough how good an RO system is, and I personally have a lot of experience with aquatic life RO systems. Now, the aquatic life RO Buddy is a really good RO system, except it produces water really, really slowly. So if you're going to go anything over like 10 or 20 gallons, I wouldn't recommend it just because it takes so long. I have the 25 gallon per day unit. If you got the 50 gallon per day unit, you could probably swing for about a 30 gallon tank. But still, if I was going to do it all over again, I'd rather save up for a BRS value system RODI unit because those are amazing. And the people that do have them, I have seen them and they're incredible. And I absolutely love them. And my friend has one and she can fill a whole 50 gallon brute trash can in just a day or two. And she absolutely loves it. Now, as far as the efficiency of these systems go, BRS definitely makes the best RO systems as far as the value for your money. You're going to get the best fittings. You're going to get the best gauges, the best TDS meters, the best filter compartments and chambers and all that. And the DI resin that they ship with us is really good. The DI resin that Aquatic Life ships with us is pretty crappy. It kind of goes out in a week or two, and then you got to replace it with normal stuff that'll last for a while. So definitely check into a good RO system. Now, the next thing I want to talk about, obviously, is just kind of like the budget-friendly, like the mid-tier tank, kind of in between the Ultimate Reef tank. And for this, I'd recommend a Kessel Light. A Kessel A80 is great for a 10 gallon. A Kessel A160 is great for a 20 to 30 gallon for as far as reef tanks go. And Filtration is the same as the Ultimate Reef tank. The Filtration is pretty affordable as far as any reef tank, really. But on the moderate tank, I mean, I wouldn't really go for a skimmer. I'd just go for water changes straight up. Wouldn't go for a reactor, none of that stuff. Just do water changes. Invest in an RO buddy just to get you started, and just kind of get going with that. You know what I mean? You don't need anything too special for a medium tier reef tank. Get some dry rock, some dry sand, maybe get microbacter and just kind of speed up your cycle process a little faster because you're going to need some kind of bacteria in there. And then as far as that, also add a heater, maybe the Aquarium heaters, the preset ones are pretty cheap. They're about 20 bucks, and that'll make you a pretty good reef system. Now, for the cheapest reef system, this is where it gets pretty darn interesting and pretty darn crazy, and you got to be pretty on top of your maintenance to do this. I've seen people on YouTube, they've had great success with this. I personally tried it and didn't have the best luck with it. But basically what the cheapest reef tank you could do is get a 10 gallon tank from Petco, like a standard tank, or from PetSmart or wherever you go, any pet store really. Get a standard 10 gallon tank. Now you can either build your own all-in-one unit into that with acrylic that you can get cut by another manufacturer, which is totally cool. But a lot of people don't really have time or the bravery to attempt that. So get a hang on the back filter, get a Aqua Clear, or even SKIMMERS just came out with a new one, the SKIMMERS Tide or Tidal or something like that. I'll put a video of it or a picture of it on the video. But that power filter is great. Do some dry rock, some dry sand. Get a little bottle of bacteria for cheap, and then from there you just kind of set it off with get a Chinese Reef LED from Amazon. You can pick some up for I know Reef. Or no, not Reef. 21 LED makes a Reef Bar Pro for about 75 bucks. It is fully controllable, has a remote and everything. It's almost as controllable as the Kessel, except it only has white and blue, no full spectrum, nothing special, but it'll grow your corals. I've used it for a long time, and it's been great. It's grown, SPS, LPS, open brains, all sorts of crazy stuff. So basically, for the cheapest reef tank, if you can afford a heater, do it. If not, oh well, just make sure your house doesn't get that cold. But a heater isn't necessary, but it's definitely really nice to have as far as stability for corals go. Now the ultimate reef tank, you probably don't have money, or the cheapest reef tank, I mean. For the cheapest reef tank, you probably don't have money for an RO system. So what I would recommend doing is getting jugs of distilled water from Walgreens. I would never recommend using tap water, but if you had to, I guess you could if you weren't keeping corals. But still, get your distilled 1 gallon jugs from Walgreens, or go to your local fish store, get some water. That's what I did for the longest time. Took forever, but just be careful with some of your water sources, because where you get your water is basically dependent on how good your tank is going to be. Like, your tank is never going to be any better than the water you put in it. And for all of these reef tanks, I would recommend using Instant Ocean. If you can, for the ultimate reef tank, use Red Sea. Red Sea is a really great salt brand. But basically, that's all there is to it, guys. Just a cheap little nano tank, a 10 gallon, hang on the back filter, some dry sand, dry rock, a little bacteria additive, a cheap Chinese LED will do you great. It's definitely going to take you a lot more maintenance to maintain that, and I think it's going to be more expensive in the end. But if you can't afford an ultimate reef tank right off the bat, that's what you're going to be stuck with. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave your comments below, like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know if I missed anything. Let me know what you would add on your ultimate reef tank, and I'd love to see your responses. So thanks for watching, guys.